The Jedi Guardian combat style's first look has been on the public test center for a week now, and on July 14th there were a couple of updates in the dev tracker for the test server forums. This is a good opportunity to do a quick update on what was posted, deconstruct what was said, and evaluate how it all links up. In this first paragraph, they acknowledge there has been a lot of feedback and they are reading through all of it. This is good to hear and not surprising as part of the testing process. In the second paragraph, the discussion is about the perceived lack of communication. I believe they make a great point here, in having the developers involved in the feedback discussion can shift the direction of the feedback and steer things in a biased direction. As part of the testing process, it is important to keep this distance to get the purest feedback as possible, both positive and negative. Observation without interaction is very common in game testing, and I respect maintaining this separation. So from this standpoint, I can understand where the developers are coming from. That being said, having the community team check in and provide updates is also important, if for no other reason than to communicate information like this post. This kind of interaction fosters open communication and recognizes the player's perception of being heard. It was great to see this post. The developers list several themes they are seeing from the public test server and the test server forums. Let's break these down. Number 1. Concerns regarding the availability of defensive abilities. This is not a surprise. Part of the initial system seems to be limiting the skills you will have available at any one time, some potentially missing and others locked behind the choices. Number 2. PTS Jedi Guardian could be effective in story content but not in-game content. This also feels linked to the skills. When your in-game player is worried, they are thinking about competitiveness in PvP or operations, where a character that does not match up will be vulnerable or irrelevant. It is difficult to make a call on this since we have not seen the proposed changes to any other advanced class, but class balance will always be a concern. This is probably coming from a comparison from class performance on live compared to the PTS. Number 3. Saber Throw, Saber Reflect should not be a choice. Another one linked to the availability of skills. If there is an overall theme to the feedback, it is probably the negative reaction to losing or having to choose between skills and abilities. The developers have stated that this is not the final version, but this is important feedback that needs to be heard before the next stage of the system test. Number 4. The class is about survivability. The PTS Jedi Guardian does not feel like this. This one is difficult. This could come down to a limiting of defensive abilities or be linked to the 6th point in the list. Overall, the test did make it feel like you were weaker though. Not sure if this was the intention. This may also vary between focused defense and vigilance builds. Number 5. Choices being offered as of now don't feel balanced. I previously released a video where I built a chart of how the current version of the system works. The short version is you are choosing 1/3 of what is available for any single build. It is unclear if the old utility system will still be there or not. While this feeling is real and should be validated, I'm not sure we have enough information to make a call on this yet. While the choice between 3 abilities and passives does add custom ability to your character, it also imposes limits. Balance of this system will be very important to its success. Number 6. The gear and companion being offered during this phase of PTS does not equate to the live player experience. When you first approach the gear droids with your starter gear, your item rating is 1, so you will receive gear with an item rating of 270, although you can grab an earpiece, implants, and relics at 306. If you grab this first set of gear and head to Onderon to test, the gear level of 270 and a level 1 companion is not what most players on the live server are used to. If you buy more gear with the 270 gear equipped, it will give you a higher level gear. After 10 to 16 rounds of buying and swapping gear, you can get to a 306 set for a more apples-to-apples test, but I am guessing many players did not do this, and this will make a difference in the feel of the character. Another factor that could be coming into play here is not having access to the legacy perks. This directly impacts the effectiveness of your companion, as well as the overall quality of life perks many are used to having. The information gathered in a game test is all about player perception, and even when these perks do not directly impact the character power, it can feel like less of an experience because of these missing elements, and that can impact player perception. So for this point, I wonder how much is related to the skills themselves and how much is because of these other factors. The final statement is a nice addition. It gives another acknowledgement of the player base wanting more information and a commitment to provide this information soon. I think it is important to point out what this test was supposed to be doing. While I was excited to see the new system and loadouts, ultimately that was not the main point of this first test. Looking here at the original testing questions, you can see they were using this to see if the new system would feel similar to what we have on live. The new combat styles layout had to be exposed, but it could change a lot based on this test, so I am trying to reserve judgment on the system until we see a more finalized version. I believe the structure is good, The content that goes into that structure will be a major factor of its success or failure. They also updated the skills list with descriptions for the Defense and Vigilance test builds of the Jedi Guardian Advanced class to give more information on what each ability and passive is doing. Hopefully, this is helpful for those who play these forms of the Jedi Guardian to compare the live versus test skill sets. All of these posts can be found in the community section of the SWTOR website under the Developer Tracker or Public Test Center forums. I have put the links to both in the description below. Finally, I ran a Twitter poll on how well these changes are being received. While this is not the most scientific and had a small sample size, the results were more even than I expected, although it does skew toward the negative side more than the positive side as far as the reaction goes. I hope this update on the status of the public test server was helpful. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and as always, go watch, play, or create something great.